So it's great that you have a goal that you want to achieve. It's great that you want to take your life to the next level and that you are pumped and energized to getting that promotion at work or losing that weight or improving that relationship with that loved one or just feeling good about progress. Moving forward. Maybe you're starting a new business or you're running a nonprofit. Whatever it is, you've got goals. And that is a good thing because goals move you forward. Goals can change your entire life. But why is it sometimes that we have these wonderful goals in our heads and we dream about them, but we don't actually take action? We don't move forward or take that very next step to achieving that goal or whatever that goal is. It could be more than one, right? What gets in the way? And what gets in the way, once we understand it, we can overcome it, and then we can take the next step to making our dreams a reality. And that's what I want to talk about in this audio, in this recording. What gets in the way of us achieving our goals, and what can we do in order to get over that obstacle? So I'm going to share with you a resource that I think will help you and a strategy that I teach my clients so that they can achieve their goals. So I'm Coach Natalie Rudd, and I am known as the original wise woman strategist, and I help women go from being stuck to unstuck in a matter of moments so that they can achieve their goals and aspirations and create a life that they absolutely love. Now, I find that there are many people, men and women to be honest, who have these wonderful goals, but they don't know the first step to take in order to achieve them. And so what they find themselves doing is dreaming about the goal and planning about achieving the goal, but they never start to take action and they never implement. And so the question became, why is that? What holds them back? And I'll tell you, the biggest thing that holds people back from achieving their goal is fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of I won't be successful, or fear of I don't know how to do it, so I won't take a step. Fear of I don't want to look like a fool and not achieve my goal. And so that emotion of fear keeps them stuck from taking the first step. They don't even know the first step, but they won't even research it to find out what the first step is because they're stuck in this fear emotion. The second thing that I've noticed with working with my clients is that because they don't know, they assume that they can't do it. So they doubt. They doubt their abilities to do it. They doubt their gifting to be able to make it a reality. And because they have this self-doubt mixed in with fear, they get stuck. So you see, our emotions and our feelings keep us stuck from taking the next step and creating the life that we love. Because it's serious. If you just take one step, you can start to create the life that you love. That's serious, real talk. It's not that far from your reach. You can grab it just by taking the next step. So fear and doubt get us stuck, but you can overcome that. Now, the third thing that I've noticed that keeps us from achieving our goals is the way that we're normally wired. So when we have these big, audacious goals that we want to achieve or these big changes that we want to make in our life, our brain works against us. That's right. The brain is set to protect us. And so when we're trying to make a change, it actually is resistant to change because we don't know if that change will really work. So the brain is trying to protect us by resisting. But what we have to do is get the brain to get on our side so that this big change is not intimidating, that we don't become fearful, and that we don't start to doubt our ability to improving our lives for the better. Because just imagine, if you want to improve your communication with your family, that's a good change. That's something that's going to make everybody happy. Or if you want to lose that extra 30 pounds that you're carrying around, that's going to make you feel wonderful and energized and healthy and sexy. So that's a good change. And if you want to go for that promotion or start a new business or, just make more money, that's going to improve your life. So all of those desires are good. And it does require sometimes big changes. And so there's no reason to fear. There's no reason to doubt. And you don't want to get stuck in your emotions that's holding you back. And so you've got to flip your focus. That's right. You've got to flip your focus so your brain starts to work with you and not against you. And that's where I want to introduce the resource. Because the resource that I'm going to share with you can help you to make those big changes less fearful and less intimidating. It's a book entitled One Small Step Can Change Your Life, The Kaizen Way by Dr. Robert Maurer. I really suggest that you research this book to see if it's something that you want to add into your library of resources. I always encourage my clients to read it because it talks about taking one small step that will yield big change in your life. That you start by asking small questions like, why is this important to me? What will I feel like if I achieve it? And it then goes into thinking small thoughts, like instead of making it into this big, hairy plan that has these 50,000 steps, you literally start with small steps. Like, what is the first thing I can buy if I want to remodel my kitchen? Maybe it's just a coffee maker. I don't know. But you can take that big plan and make it into something really small that will then inspire other changes. So the book is about taking small actions and understanding the power of incremental small steps that move you closer to achieving that goal. Because sometimes we get stuck in our head with the emotions and feelings that we never take that first step. So we're never one step closer to achieving our goals. So this resource, I absolutely found it to be transformational. It's a short book, small book, not a lot of pages, a really quick read, but it will make a big difference in your life. Small steps can yield big results. Now, will those small steps take you longer? Yes, it might, but it will take you even longer if you never take the first step. In fact, you never achieve any goal that you don't set out to achieve. And it requires action. Yes, it requires faith that you can get it done so you don't doubt, but then it requires action for you to do the work to achieve the goal. Now, what's the strategy that I teach my clients? And I get it from the Kaizen Way, because the Kaizen Way is a method that's been around for ages. And Dr. Moore is just showing us how to apply it in our lives in the book. But the Kaizen Way is taking something really big and breaking it down into small steps. So I'll give you an example that I used in my life. I love potato chips, but potato chips get in the way of me losing weight. So if I want to lose 10 pounds, I need to look at what I eat. And the first thing that came up for me were the potato chips, because I like Lay's potato chips. And it is true, you can't just eat one. So I found myself eating 20 chips at one time. And so what I did, following the Kaizen method when I first read this book years ago, is that instead of eating 20 chips, I went down to eating 10 chips. And I ate 10 chips for about a week. So every time I had Lay's potato chips, I enjoyed 10 chips. It could have been 3 times that week or it could have been twice that week. But anytime I ate them, I ate 10 chips. And yes, I counted them out. And yes, I made sure that they were the really big chips, not the small crumbs. So I had 10 big chips that I thoroughly enjoyed. After that week, I went down to 9 chips. And yes, again, I counted 9 big chips. And I did this week after week by decreasing the amount of chips that I ate until I was down to 3 chips every time I ate Lay's. And those were 3 big chips that I ate. So I enjoyed them, and to the point where I no longer wanted them. So what was happening when I was making those small changes? I was breaking my habit. I was changing my taste buds, but I was still enjoying the chips. But I gave my brain small instructions so that it started to work for me and not against me. So I was still in control and I was still enjoying the chips, but the small changes were not as overwhelming or intimidating. And guess what? I no longer have to eat 10 chips. I have control over how many Lay's potato chips I eat. And now I don't even eat them that often, but when I do, 2 or 3 is good enough, and then I can put the bag aside. That is what happened when I took control, took the right action, made small incremental changes so that it was not intimidating, and it helped me to, yes, lose weight. Because if I can do it with the Lay's potato chips, I can do it with the bread and the butter that I like, or I can do it with the sweets that I love to eat. Now I have to, have some self-control, but I built the habit where I can enjoy it in small amounts, where I'm not obsessing about it and I'm not being overpowered by the sweets or the chips that I'm eating. Now, if I took that example and I just quit cold turkey, meaning that I went from eating 10 chips every time I ate Lay's potato chips to 0, I'm going cold turkey, I am at risk of triggering stress response, where now I'm not eating 10 chips, I'm eating 20 chips. Meaning that when you're making big changes and you quit cold turkey, sometimes you can revert back and you can eat more, if we're using this example of food, than what you used to eat because you quit cold turkey. That's your brain being resistant and saying, you thought you were over this? You're not over this. And now we're going to eat more because we're trying to get back to the habit of what we do. The brain thinks it's a good thing when your mind is saying, no, that isn't true. It does matter how you implement change. Big change, cold turkey, is not long lasting. Small incremental steps or small incremental changes, that's how you get long lasting and sustaining results. The brain will work against you, but you have to then give it new instructions and work with it so that you can achieve these big, hairy, audacious goals. So the resource is this book, One Small Step Can Change Your Life, The Kaizen Way by Dr. Robert Maurer. And that's Maurer. That's the author's last name. In fact, a shout out to Dr. Maurer for writing this book and showing us how to apply this timeless method to changing our lives. Now, the strategy that I gave you is making small incremental changes week by week. And you can apply this in losing weight. You can apply this in communicating with your loved one, getting a promotion, starting a business. And you would do it simply by asking empowering questions like, why is this important to you? What will it feel like if you accomplish this goal? And what's the first step that you can take towards achieving this goal? Just starting with those 3 powerful questions will get you motivated, energized, and encouraging you to take that first step. Because you can change your life. If you've been stuck in an area of your life and you want to improve it, you have the tools and the resources to change your life. And you can go from being stuck to unstuck in a matter of moments to create the life that you absolutely love. Now, if you want to take this further and you want to work together, go to my website, Coach Natalie Rudd, and sign up for a clarity session. And let's get together and talk through where are you and where do you want to be? Because there's a strategy that can help you create the life that you love. So thank you for listening. If this has helped you, give it a thumbs up, like it, and subscribe to my YouTube station and follow me on Instagram, where you can get more tips and strategies in helping you to go from being stuck to unstuck in a matter of moments. Be blessed until we're together the next video.